Hello everyone, my name is Jerrel. I'm from Sungrand. I create the Silver Falls games. Thanks for joining me today. This is just a quick check-in to let you know how things are going with development of our upcoming Wii U and 3DS games. So, I've 100% completed the launch day version of Guardians and Metal Exterminators that has been sent through to Nintendo, so hopefully we can see that game launch soon on the new Nintendo 3DS. Now, for Ghoul Busters, we've requested a launch day of 14th of this month. So hopefully, within 2 weeks, we will see Ghoul Busters launch on all 3DS and 2DS models. Thank you, everyone, to your support and for your patience and understanding. Launching this game on the 3DS is quite exciting, especially for people who have been with the series since the very beginning. A number of you would be familiar with the game being cancelled after the difficulty with production that we had with 3 Down Stars and Undertakers. We got devastated by really negative reviews for our first game because of the glitches that we had with development, and I realized I couldn't keep going using Unity on 3DS. It wasn't a stable development environment. But we've got to this point thanks to the support of everyone. A number of you over the years kept asking for Ghoul Busters even though we canceled that, and that's part of the reason, well, that's entirely the reason why I brought Ghoul Busters back. I took it off the Switch, put it back onto the 3DS, so it's going to be a nice, sweet little exclusive game for everyone who enjoys 3DS. So thank you to all of you for your support. For Wii U, I am just currently removing some motion controls from the gamepad. That's going to reduce the potential for players to be startled, and it's going to reduce some scares. But at the end of the day, I think that's a fine compromise in order to get the game into a publishable state, so that we can all enjoy White Inside Its Umbra. There's a massive amount of content, there's a huge amount of lore and story and character to enjoy for those of you who do like that aspect of the Silver Falls games. There is a massive multiplayer mode, offline couch co-op multiplayer mode. So there's a massive amount of content in that game. So taking out motion controls of the gamepad, it's not really that big of a deal at the end of the day because there's so much to the game. So I really hope that you all enjoy White Inside Its Umbra. I will keep you posted and updated on what is happening with that. We are also waiting for Nintendo to process Undertakers for the Wii U. Again, that is a direct port of the 3DS game, which you can get from the eShop right now. But there's a brand new exclusive competitive mode that is exclusive to the Wii U version of Undertakers. We have some videos on our channel that show that gameplay. It's extremely fun. The testers and I, we spent a bit more time than we planned testing the competitive mode. It got very competitive. We had a lot of fun with that mode. So I hope you look forward to Undertakers on the Wii U. Now the music that's playing right now is a track from our upcoming Gaiden game. So that's Gaiden for the Wii U and Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers for the 3DS. So I'm saving development time by letting those two games share the Gaiden banner. And that way I can share a number of the assets, the themes between the games, and sort of thematic and philosophically I can share the themes between those games. And I can share the sound effects, the UI, and the soundtrack as well. You might be wondering why I'm holding this strange guitar. Well, this isn't a guitar. I shared this in a video I did last week, I believe. This is a modified guitar. So this was originally a guitar. If you have a look, the headstock there. So I've built a custom headstock setup for this that has 8 tuning machines instead of 6, which allows me to put 8 strings on this. So this is no longer a guitar. This is an instrument called a mandocello. Look it up. There's some extremely talented musicians on YouTube who have mandocello videos. They're very fascinating. I knew it was a sound that I wanted to implement in the Silver Falls series overall, particularly with the Gaiden series. I really wanted that game to have its own voice. I really strive to make sure each game has its own identity visually and in terms of the soundtrack as well. You can hear the deep tones in this instrument. It really has this incredible, earthy, unique sound to it. Another instrument that I used for this track as well is known as an electronic wind instrument. And this, if you are familiar, it's sort of like playing a flute or a saxophone. It allows you to create music in a bit more expressive way digitally. So this is a MIDI instrument. Instead of using a MIDI keyboard, you blow air through here. You can control the expressiveness of the music through biting down on the mouthpiece and through the control of your breath as well. So these are different instruments that I used in this particular track. I'll be using this electronic wind instrument moving forward. This is actually the first track in the Silver Falls series that uses this, and I'll be using this in plenty more tracks moving forward. It allows me to create expressive performances beyond what a MIDI keyboard would allow me to do. And it's important to me to always push myself creatively. It was a challenge using this because I've never used this instrument before. And so in terms of setting it up in my workspace and in terms of physically using it, it's quite different from what I've used in the past before. But again, I think if you're a creative person and your intention is to create, then you really do need to challenge yourself, you need to push yourself to go beyond what you are capable of doing and to keep improving and challenging yourself. And so that's important to me. And that is something that I want to use to make my games the best that they can be and to make them interesting for everyone who does enjoy them. So what I will do now is I'll just turn the music up a little bit. You can enjoy the track a little bit before I sign off for the evening. If you've enjoyed the Silver Falls games in the past, you might be thinking that this track sounds quite different than the other tracks that we've enjoyed in the series. And that is because I strive to, as I mentioned before, create a unique identity for each particular game in terms of the soundtrack and the visuals. So for the Gaiden series, in general, I want to portray a sound that is quite organic and earthy and quite different from, say, for example, White Inside Its Umbra, which has quite a synthetic sound, an ethereal sound. So for Gaiden, quite a bit of the soundtrack will have this softer, more melancholic, easygoing sound to it. I hope you look forward to hearing more from the upcoming games, and please look forward to the game launches as well. Please excuse me if I haven't responded to your messages on YouTube. YouTube does not always alert me to your messages, so I do my best to respond and get back to you when I can, but sometimes things do slip through the cracks with YouTube. It doesn't always tell me that people have left comments. So thank you very much. Please take care of yourselves. Be well, look after your health, look after your happiness, and I'll talk to you all again soon.